Hi, it's Sue from Snake River Stamping here in Burbank, Washington. Welcome to my stamp room today. This is a pre-recorded video. I have a doctor's appointment on Monday morning, so I needed to get this pre-recorded and hopefully uploaded on time. I had trouble with Facebook last time I did this, but I think I have that figured out now on how to get that done on time. So hopefully that will go smoothly for me. I am happy to welcome you. I would love to hear where you're from if you're watching me today. And you're watching this on Monday, August 25th is the day I'm going to be showing this. I live in the southeastern corner of the state of Washington, and even though the days are warm, we had cooler days last week, but it's warming up to like 100 degrees again here. But the nights are definitely cooling off, and the mornings are lovely. I mean, it's like 68 when we get up, it's 7 or so. And I was noticing as I was driving along the river today that the maple trees and things are starting to turn. The leaves are starting to turn color just a little bit. And I just love fall, and I love making fall cards, which is what we're going to do today. And I love the colors, and so I was really happy to see those colors start to turn. I am going to turn the camera down and share a few things with you, and then we're going to get started on making some cards today. Don't forget, through the end of this month we're having our in color sale on the 2025 to 2027 in color products, which include anything that includes Cloud Cover, Darling Duckling, Secret Seas, Strawberry Slush, and Timid Tiger. So even designer series paper that includes those colors, if it has those colors in it, that designer series paper will be on sale this month. And my specials for this month that I'm running, always for Stampin' Up. Stampin' Up does this. They start at $20. You start earning your own Stampin' rewards, and you can use them on the next order, or you can save them up and accumulate them, which is one of the things I did recently. I've been accumulating some of my rewards, and so the order I got today, I just paid shipping, and the order itself was completely free because I had enough points. So that was nice to get free stuff in the mail today. For a $40 order, you get my card kits this month, and this month I'm using the Sunflower 3D embossing folder because I can emboss for you, and I'm sending you 4 cards embossed, and you can do what you want with those cards, and I have a video that goes along with them that you can watch. I'll send it to you when I get your order of $40 or more. And whoops, didn't mean to do that. And you will get one that is embossed with I did it again. How did I do that? Okay, stop that. One that's embossed with rose gold foil, and it's on petal pink paper. 1 and 2 that are embossed on the two-tone cardstock. 1 is embossed on crumb cake, and 1 is embossed on Night of Navy. The crumb cake card you can put on the black cardstock I send you, and the Night of Navy you can put on the white cardstock I send you. And again, I share some tips and tricks in my video of how you can complete these cards. And then the white one, is probably the most versatile, and it has the most options of things that you can do with it for this 3D card. So those are my card kits through the end of August. You will get your 10% Stampin' Rewards included. Anything above $20, you get 10% Stampin' Rewards. For a $50 order, you get the card kits I just mentioned, and you get a brand new package of 2025-2027 in color pearls. And the Secret C is up here above, but it's all the in colors. You get a package of those, plus your Stampin' Rewards. For a $75 order, you get all of the above, card kits, gems. Now you get a silicone brush. Now, at the beginning of the month, I had these silicone little spatulas, and I sent some of those out. And I didn't really like, I mean, they worked okay, but I didn't really like them. And then I found these. Well, they're actually silicone baking brushes that I cut off. And so some of you are getting these in the mail now. I'm resending those. If you already got one of these not as good ones, I'm resending these to you because these are better. And then those of you that are ordering from now till the end of the month will get these better ones. Okay, the silicone brush. And the Stampin' Rewards, $100 order, you get all of the above, plus you get a brand new silicone craft sheet, which is very, very handy with a silicone craft brush. Well, really a baking brush, but it works really well with glue because it just wipes right off, rinses right off. The glue does. And handy dandy thing to have. So those are my offers for this month. Remember, all qualifying orders are before tax and shipping, or before any coupons are redeemed, Stampin' Rewards. They have to be paid orders to qualify for that. Okay. And our mini catalogs. Some of you are receiving these. I heard right now, this week, you're getting your mini catalogs. And I know you're excited because you can open them and look through them and see the beautiful things that are in them. And as you can see, I have some pages marked of things I'm going to buy, things I'm going to do. I've already purchased some things that were available ahead of time. And I wanted to tease you just a little bit that next week we are going to be doing some Christmas, and we're going to be using Traditions of Christmas. This set. And these are the gems, and I have some ribbon and stuff, but this paper is absolutely beautiful because, like the fall paper that we're using, it has the gold in it. So there's two pieces of each one of these. So the front has the gold, and then the back has something more subtle, more backgroundish. So that's the back side of these poinsettias. That's really pretty. And then this one, and it also has, these are just some little Christmas flowers. And then the back side of that are some green stripes. Really pretty. I haven't even decided which one I'm going to use yet, or which ones. And these have some pink poinsettias with the gold, which is beautiful. And then the back has some cherry cobbler background, which is real. I love cherry cobbler for Christmas. I just love it. And then here's some more poinsettias. This has red and pink with the gold. And then on the back is Secret C with some cloud cover. This is all poinsettias, just covered in poinsettias. Isn't that beautiful with the gold? And then on the back is kind of a plaid in granny apple green. It's really pretty. And then this last one, really large poinsettias. And on the back, a Christmassy plaid. So we will be playing with some of this paper for the next few weeks as we do some Christmas cards. And I've got some fun folds planned and some really great things I think you'll enjoy. So I hope you're getting your catalog. Now, if you were not previously a previous customer of mine and didn't have an online account and you didn't opt in and all of those things and you would like a catalog, all you have to do is place at least a $50 order with me now, anytime, and I will send you a catalog. I have some catalogs and I will send you one. So you can, they notify me of your orders, and that's how I know to send you my card kits and things like that, and my little prizes that I sent out. But I can also send a catalog along with that. So but I need a $50 minimum order from you if you are a new customer, and I will send you a catalog if you would like to have one of those. Okay, you might check my email. It's in my description. And if you'll send me an email just to make sure I know that you want a catalog, then that would be really helpful to me. So let's get busy with what we're going to do today. Let me show you. I called this Sparkling Gold, and I did a lot of practicing before I did this card, trying to get it the way I wanted it to look, because it was a little bit hard, and I used a lot of different methods of coloring to do it. This one I did it with Stampin' Blends, and I tried different ways with my Stampin' Blends, and I had a paper that of course I've misplaced. Anyway, not sure what I did with that. Oh, there it is. There it is. Found it. I was trying lots of different things with my Stampin' Blends, and I sometimes too dark, sometimes too light, and you know, it was just all over the place with practicing on a piece of paper. So then I started practicing on some cardstock, and that went a little bit better, because this is Stampin' Blends over here, and this one, oh yeah, this was Watercolor Pencils, which we have. I was going to show you those, and I did link them in my description. We have these watercolor pencils where you color with the pencil and then you use a paintbrush to blend them, and it turned out okay, but I wasn't thrilled with it. I ultimately decided the blends, it was just a matter of getting the right blends and the right colors for me. I tried painting with ink, where I put a little bit, I dabbed a little bit of ink from my ink pad onto a block, and then took the water and the paintbrush and I painted it that way, which was okay. I used regular colored pencils, which was much more muted, which I didn't mind, but I wanted it to be a little bit more intense than that. Then I was trying some blends and trying different colors. I was writing down what blends I was using. I felt these were a little bit too dark. I didn't mind a blue pumpkin, actually, and I actually have a shirt that has some orange pumpkins and one blue pumpkin on it. and I didn't mind the blue pumpkin. So this was balmy blue, light and dark balmy blue. So I didn't mind that one. This was painting with ink. Oh yeah, I did that one. These were blends, and I finally decided this was a little too dark. I did a blue gourd here, but I finally decided on dark timid tiger and light pumpkin pie for my pumpkins. Dark peach pie isn't bad either. It's a pretty good orange for pumpkins. Better than it looks in the container. So anyway, those were all the ones I tried. Yeah, I felt like that one's too dark, so that was what I tried, and I finally settled on this one, which is probably kind of what we're going to do today on one, but I'm going to change up some of the colors in the background and things and talk to you about what we did. Which reminds me, red rubber stamps are going away. Stampin' Up! Can't economically source the red rubber to make these stamps and sell them at a reasonable cost anymore. So this set happens to be red rubber, and it's available until it's sold out. Probably they will not be making any more. Everything is going to be photopolymer, which is the clear stamp. So Amber Autumn is what I'm using today. I used it last week, and that's what I'm going to use again today. So I imagine this is going to sell out pretty quickly. Now, demonstrators, we can only buy one of these right now, and then it goes on sale to you guys on September 3rd, and they have a certain amount of them. And so September 3rd, if you really want this set, I would be Johnny on the spot to order this one right away. And I do really like this set. It's really versatile, and it's user friendly, and I like the images. They stamp well. I'll show you that today. But red rubber's going away. The other thing that's going away, and they're just gonna sell out what they have. They're not gonna make any more of them. Are Stampin' Right markers, these skinnier markers, and a lot of people, I didn't use it as much, but a lot of people would use them. You could use, because these are kind of watercolor markers. You cannot use blends to do this. Never use blends to do this. But you can color on a red rubber stamp and then stamp it, and it will wash off. But the sales for these have gone down in the last couple of years, and they're getting rid of the red rubber stamps, which is what a lot of people use them for. So right now, whatever inventory they have with Stampin' Right markers is what they have, and they are not replacing these Stampin' Right markers. So if you are partial to them, they also have a bullet tip. Whoops, no, not in the right spot. Bullet tip and a brush tip. Okay, so those are making an exit too. All right, so back to our cards today. I tried putting on this one. I tried putting a kind of a burlappy ribbon, and then I tried putting some DSP under here, which I liked better. So I think we're probably going to stick with the DSP. So and I used some gold. But today we're just going to change up some of the background colors. We are just going to use some ribbon, and we're going to do a little bit of coloring. So this is what I have for you today. Now I do have the measurements all typed up, so you can wait till the end to see what they are. I did decorate an envelope. Sometimes I forget to do that, but I love to decorate the envelopes. Just with some designer series paper. I put some glue on the envelope flap lay a piece of designer series paper in there, cut around it, and my envelope flap is decorated. And sometimes I will also stamp or partially stamp on the envelope too. I don't usually color, but if I do color on the envelope with blends, I would stick a piece of cardstock in here because it will go through. I would stick a piece of cardstock in here to pick up whatever's going to bleed through, because the blend will bleed through. It will bleed through cardstock too, but it'll be okay inside the envelope. Just keep that in mind when you do that. So we'll have that. So I have a few pieces of this. These are from Stylish Shapes. So I used two kinds of Stylish Shapes, or one kind of Stylish Shapes and one Textured Notes. I used this large flagged one. This one got cut off to make the front. That's going to go under my pumpkin. And I think I'm going to use, I think I had a different color. Thought I had a different color. Anyway, I'm going to use Early Espresso today. I used the Mossy, Mossy Meadow on the other two cards. And I just took a piece of cardstock, white cardstock, to color the pumpkins, and I stamped in pumpkin pie. I stamped in pecan pie on my white cardstock. And then, using Textured Notes, I cut out a couple of different choices for the inside. I used number 2, the second largest one, and I used number 4 for my choices for my inside, and I'm not sure. We'll see what I choose. I'm either going to go like this on the inside, or I'm going to do a staggered inside like that, something like that. Okay, so that I use Textured Notes for the inside, and I'll set that to the side. I use these flower accents, which are linked for the outside. And I used a piece of gold foil, which is linked, and I used some adhesive sheet, which is also linked. And I'm going to show you how I already put the adhesive on the back, because you have to put the adhesive on before you cut. And then cutting it, you can see I missed a few little links here, little pieces that didn't quite come out. Most of them come out when you pull off the die, and the die is included with the Amber Autumn. So you get the dies for the pumpkin and the leaves, but this is the plate die that I used to cut this gold sheet. It's just all leaves, okay? It's just all leaves. And it comes with, when you buy the bundle, it comes with it. Okay, so let me get my little, so this is just an 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4 in half. It's going to go landscape. So there's my other one. So these are all my choices for my little tag I'm going to put on. So I put the adhesive sheet. Now the first one I did, I glued it on. Glue and foil are not friends, so you have to be, if you use glue, if you don't have adhesive sheets, you have to be really careful and you dot the glue on the larger spaces and on the edges. Just dot the glue. Let it dry to tacky, like 5 to 7 minutes. I lay it on a silicone craft sheet and just let it dry to tacky. Okay, but I did use adhesive sheet on this one. And when you run it through your die cut, you know, I have my die cut placed on top and I'm running it through. I had to run it through a couple of times, and then I had to turn it over. I left it on exactly where it was, and it kind of sticks pretty good. It stays in place. I just turned it over, flipped my sandwich over, just flipped the whole thing over, and I ran it through upside down and ran it through a couple of times because it was hard to get it to cut all the way through these 2 layers, because the adhesive sheet is a bit thicker and foil is a bit thicker than regular cardstock. So the combination of those 2 things make it a little harder. But then once it got cut, it came right out of the die cut, and it was like I showed you. All the pieces fell out except for just a couple little ones that just now took off. And so now, since I have that adhesive sheet on there, and I'm going to show you how to put one on in just a minute on a piece, I can it just makes it into a sticker, and I can just carefully peel this off. And this is all just one big sticker now because of this adhesive sheet, which is linked in my description. And I'm going to turn this landscape, and this is 4 by 5 1/4, and I cut this ahead of time before I die cut it, so it would have the right border. There we go. Okay. Press it down once you get it in position. You saw how I kind of dropped it on there and it was crooked, and I quickly lifted it up because I didn't press it down. So now I'm just pressing it real carefully with my fingers, and I'm just going to let that set. But now my background's done, and isn't that gorgeous? Isn't that gorgeous? I love it. Okay, so now I'm going to work on my pumpkins, and I stamped 2 just in case. Oh, let me show you about, in case you haven't seen me do this before. So our adhesive sheets, making sure this is one. So this is just a piece of gold foil, and I had mine cut, like I said, 5 1/4 by 4, so it would fit exactly. And then I die cut it. Okay, but before I die cut it, I'm going to turn this over, and our adhesive sheets are cut every once in a while. So it's naturally got a little cut there, and that's great. So I'm just going to lay that on there and press it on, and then I'm going to turn this, and I'm going to peel off the second section. And sometimes some of that gluey stuff comes up, but it'll go back down. Sometimes you have to use your take your pick tool to get it to do that. And then I'm going to put down my second section, and then there's a third section. And I just press that down. Now, So now it's all glued on there. I place my die on there. I cut it out. And remember, you definitely, with foil and the adhesive sheet, you're going to have to do that more than one time, you know, cranking it through, maybe even turning it over. And then once you have die cut it, then just bend it a little bit at a corner and get it started like I did. And you can peel up and off the other backing sheet and stick it right on. Okay, I just peel off my backing sheet. I'm not gonna peel that all the way off, because you know what, I'm gonna use that for something. I've got a leaf or something, a long leaf, that I can use that for. Or I can add more of the adhesive sheets, like I've got this one right here. I'm gonna add more and do a bigger piece. You know, they don't have to be all one piece. You can piece them together, because you'll have little pieces left over from cutting something like this to fit exactly that you're doing a project. Then you'll have some other pieces left over, and so I put them together like that. And this is the backing sheet you're left over with when you peel it off before you stick it on. And you just throw that away. It's no good. So back to coloring. So what I decided, these are the colors I decided to use of blends. And for my pumpkins, I used light timid tiger, and I used light pumpkin pie. For my corn, I used light and dark darling duckling. For my gourd, I used dark Daffodil Delight and light or dark Lemon Lolly, and these are all linked in my description. And then for my leaves, I used a little bit of yellows, and I used Granny Apple Green, light Granny Apple Green, and light Old Olive. Those are the leaves that I used. And then I cut it out using my die cut, which I will do. So, in fact, I'm going to have to do that, and I forgot. I can't do it on, I can't cut, well I can, but it shakes the table something fierce when I die cut on this table, because my cameras and lights and everything are hooked to this table, so I'll die cut on this side. But I'm going to show you first how I colored, and it really doesn't take that long. So I'm hoping that I do it right the first time. So I start out with the darker color usually, and so that's my Timid Tiger for my pumpkins, and it's light Timid Tiger. And I start out with a bullet tip, because I am going to trace what the artist already created, and because they have some lines here that show shadow, and I'm going to do that. I'm going to outline, and I'm going to just color in what that artist did for me. And I tried many different colors, and these were the ones that made me most happy. Now maybe you will be happy with different colors, and you'll want to try some different things to see what you like your pumpkins. I wanted my pumpkins, you know, to show up, but I didn't want them to be so intense that they just overtook the whole image. And like I was telling you, peach pie was actually one of my contenders to win this little game of pumpkin coloring. So then I go in with my light pumpkin pie, and I go in with my brush tip, and I am going to blend. I'm going to blend right over that dark, and I'm going to leave little light places every once in a while. just to make sure that it looks like some light is hitting it every once in a while. But I blend right over that dark because I want to bring it up. Make it look all like the pumpkin, you know, is not just one dimension. So there, my pumpkins are done. Just like that. To do my leaves, I started with Old Olive, and this is light Old Olive, and I just traced some veins first, and I did the outline of this one leaf down here. Oh, I did the stems in green too. And the stem of this, I did a little bit, just dots of color on some of the little background stuff. And some of these little leaves down here. Just a little bit of that. I did the Old Olive first because that's my darker color. And then I went in with my light Granny Apple Green, and I'm using my brush tip now. And I'm carefully coloring in. I'm trying to leave some white. I think it always looks better with a little white showing when you do this. Okay. And then I used Darling Duckling, and I started with, actually with my light Darling Duckling for a reason, because I'm just going to color a little bit of the corn like that, and I'm not going to use my brush tip. I'm going to use dots of dark Darling Duckling on top of the light Darling Duckling to make it look, because you know corn, there's some light holes and some dark ones, and so I just use dots to color that in. And then the gourd, I went back and forth on the gourd on what color to do it. I finally decided on dark Daffodil Delight and dark Lemon Lolly. So I did some dark Daffodil Delight, a little bit, and a little bit of light Lemon Lolly right on top of that, leaving a little bit of white. And that is done, just like that. So I want this to go through my small cut and emboss machine. So I'm just going to cut that out. I didn't even need this one this time, so I can save that one for another one. But I can cut this out. Put it on my little magnet card. And I'm going to use some repositionable tape. There we go. Got to put it on there right. I want it to stay on there pretty good. Okay, so that'll fit. And I'm just going to go over here and I'll show you the sandwich I'm going to use. On my small cut and emboss machine, I use plate number 1, plate number 2, put on my die cut with my cardstock, and then another plate number 2. Okay, and especially with this one, if you will lead, you know, put this first plate number 2, put it down a little bit, you know, this way, and then put this one a little bit ahead of that so it forms that kind of a shape. It will pull through a little bit better. hopefully that's not shaking anything too much. There, good cut. And then pull this tape off. Now this repositionable tape, I reuse mine, you know, a few times, but if it's kind of brand new, which this is, tear it off carefully, or you can tear off what you just colored. I've done that. If I just rip it off of there. So now I have all of these little pieces, and I think I'm going to use one of these two, either green or Cajun Craze, which is one of the colors in the paper. Even though I didn't use any Cajun Craze on my pumpkins, I tried Cajun Craze. It's too dark, way too dark. Oh, man. And this has Mossy Meadow and Old Olive in it. I think I will go green. I thought I would go Cajun Craze, but I think I'm going to go green. So I'm just going to glue this on flat. And I am going to glue it right on that gold paper, but it's going to be okay because you're not going to see it. It's going to make a mess on the gold paper, but you're not going to see it, the mess. Okay. And I'm going to pop these up. I'm kind of getting at the end of these dimensionals. I have a new set, but I use all of my dimensionals, even when I have to cut them. There's another one. But I'm going to use one of these cut ones in the middle. But I cut my edges. I just go through, and in fact, I'm just going to cut some right now so they'll be ready to go. I just kind of cut them. And those are all ready for me to tear off now and easy to use. And I just take off my papers. I'm going to stick this on. I'm going to make a bow. I'm going to put on some gems. I'm going to do the inside of this card. And I want to show you what I did. I have another idea for the inside of one of those other cards I forgot to show you that I kind of like. So I'm just going to set that on there. And then I use some of this gold striped ribbon. This is new and out of our new catalog that will be available to you on September 3rd. And I have that linked also. And I'm just going to make, I use a bow maker because I'm absolutely horrible at making bows, especially on a live feed. So I just do this, over, under, tie it. You can get these bow makers on Amazon, or some craft stores have them. And I tie them right using the ribbon right on the spool of thread. Like that, and I have a perfect bow, and I didn't have to stress over it, which is what I like. And I'm going to get one, maybe two sticky dots. I'm going to cut this off. And I'm just going to, where is my, there it is. I'm going to just take these sticky dots, put them together, And I'm going to roll them in a little sticky dot ball. I'm going to stick it on the back of my bow because I have a little more sticky dot. Instead of just one, I have 2 sticky dots. I'm just going to place it up there. And then I'm going to go back to these pretty little flower accents. I also linked these. I think these are for sale now. And I'm going to put one big one and 2 smaller ones on here, like that. And so that is the front of my card. Now the only other thing I did was I took my Wink of Stella and I shimmered up my pumpkins and my gourd. Oh, maybe I did my corn too. And that will add just a little bit of shimmer and shine to this. Just like that. Get some shimmer and shine. So on the inside, like I said, you could put, I used my textured notes dies, and I used, this is number 2, so I could put that one in there and I could stamp a greeting. This is number 2 also, and this is out of our DSP that goes with this suite that we've been using. I could put that in there, and I could put a smaller piece on that. I kind of like that. I think I might do that. So I'm going to put this in first. And then I will stamp. I have Autumn Wishes, and I have Blessed to Have You in My Life. And there's a lot of Early Espresso and Cajun Craze in here. I think I'll stick with Early Espresso because I mean I like the Cajun Craze too a lot. Maybe I should clean up some of my mess. Put some things away. And the red rubber, one of the things you do have to watch out for is edges. I usually when I stamp, where are my, there we go. I use my little Q-tips to clean my edges when I use red rubber. Guess we won't have to do that much longer, right? So I'm just going to try that out. Yeah, that's fine. Blessed to have you in my life. And you can stamp that in the middle. It depends on how much you want to write. I usually stamp stuff towards the bottom or the edge or something because I usually write a little bit in my cards to people. You know, it just depends on what kind of a card sender you are. But I think I'm going to put it down here. And I did not get that straight. But that's the way it is. I'm not going to recut it right now. But I'm not going to stick that in though because I am going to redo it. But I would stick that in after I recut this and stamp it straight. I would do that. Okay, but I did want to show you some other idea couple other ideas. So this one, I stamped Autumn Wishes. I did stamp it in the middle. I did the bigger piece, number 2. And in this set is a little leaf. There's 2 leaves. There's a little leaf die, and I die cut the leaf right out of the white paper, and the green is showing through. So this is not a green leaf. It's just the die cut, so it's kind of a shadow thing, is right out of the white paper, and the green background shows through on that. So that's an idea to use. Okay. And then the other idea is to print something on your computer that is specific for what you need. And I make a lot of cards for my Bible study groups, my women's groups that I'm in at church. So this is one that I got, and I got this one. This one's not mine. I mean, not that she owns Ephesians 2:10, but this is her design, Rhonda Wade, and I subscribe to some of her stuff. It says, "You are God's masterpiece," and that is from Ephesians 2:10. But I really liked her fonts that she used, and I've done different things like this, and I always mix my fonts like she did, because this is a great idea where you put just like a plain font, and then something that you really want to emphasize, you use a fancy font, and it really stands out. And that's just, and you just run cardstock through. I print like 6 of them. I type up one, get it just right, and then I copy and paste 6 times on one sheet, and then I run it through on white cardstock in my printer and cut them up, and I have them ready to go. And I cut that again with die cut textured notes number 2, and then I can make cards pretty quickly for my women's groups when I do something like that and I want to send them something. So that was another idea I wanted to share with you about how I do that. So you can stamp and die cut out. You can print on your computer. You can use some you can use some of that beautiful paper that came in our what's the set called? Gathering Together set. Yeah, and you can use that as a background, and then have a smaller piece of white paper in there where you stamp a little greeting on there and have a little note. So, and I think this is number 2 and this is number 4. So if you wanted it bigger, you could use number 3, but then you don't get to see as much of the beautiful paper. So anyway, that's up to you. So those are our cards today. I did 2 previously in the Mossy Meadow, and today's card I did in Early Espresso. I hope you like these cards. Next week we'll be doing the Christmas cards with the paper that I shared with you earlier. That, again, it has gold in it, and I just love anything with little flecks of gold in it. It's just so beautiful. So let me turn this up. I always forget that. So thank you for joining me today. I hope you guys have a good Monday. I hope you like this set, and on September 3rd, if you would like to own Amber Autumn, remember, it's a red rubber set, and it will probably go very quickly. Oops, can never get right and left. Yep, there we go. Okay, so Amber Autumn will probably go very quickly because it's red rubber, and it's a great set, and you'll be able to order it on September 3rd. So maybe they'll remake it with photopolymer. I don't know. I think it's going to be popular, so we'll see what they do about it. But red rubber is going away, so that's a fact, Jack. So anyway, we will talk to you again next week, and we will be doing Christmas. Okay? All right. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.